Hi, it's Nicole, and I've recorded this already, and it was 25 minutes long, and I didn't feel like editing that, so I'm going to try to do that whole thing again, a little bit more condensed and summarized. So I've been focusing on 3 books really this week, so I'm going to just chat about them a little bit. The first one I want to talk about is Emergent Strategy by Adrienne Maree Brown. This book says that it was kind of influenced, or rather inspired, by Octavia Butler's Parable of the Sower, or rather it's in keeping with some of the philosophy presented in that book by the main character. Considering that, I decided to read that book before picking this one up, and I enjoyed that, and I'll do a review on that some other time. But I don't think that it was necessary to read that book before heading into this one. So I think this past week can be summarized in books that I was expecting one thing from and then they weren't that thing. So I wanted this to be something that would help direct some of my activism, give me more ideas for engaging politically, I don't know, talk about direct action and like practical strategies for engaging in this time. It does have those nuggets in there, and it does have some practical notes for group organizing and things like that, which is something I have no experience with at all, and I don't really plan on doing any like group organizing of things. I want to like tag along and learn and stuff and do what I can in that way. But I didn't really feel like this book was the one for me. Partly because I think that its tone and where she's coming from is just very, very, very different from me. I am not a crystals person. I'm not a manifesting person. I'm not a, I don't know, woo-woo universe type of person in a non-scientific way. So I think, yeah, we were probably bound to not super get on and stuff like that. And I don't like have any issues with people who are more into that kind of thing, and if you are, then like I said in my Goodreads review, we need everybody who is vaguely on the same page of wanting the world to be better, more equitable, etc., to get involved. And while this book might not have worked for me, if she can get people on board who are broadly of the same thinking as me, that we need things to go in a more positive, productive, collective direction, then she can speak to those people, and that's great. I just need a different approach than the one that she's giving. So I don't want to slate this book or anything like that, knowing that it's not really for someone like me. But I think if you are going to go into this, go in knowing that there are loads and loads of quotes from other media, movies, books, songs, etc. And that might be quite fun for you. She sings a little bit in the audiobook, some of the like song bits and whatnot, which I don't really like. I find that a little like, ooh, cringe, even if the person is a really good singer, which she is a fine singer. But I just don't, I feel uncomfortable with that kind of thing. That might be a plus for you, but ultimately for me, I didn't really feel like this book gave me anything much. But I do think that if you're in the organizing space, there will be bits in this that you can take from. If you are looking to help organizations, help strategize in your community, I don't know, become more politically active, etc., this might be hit and miss based on your personality and whether or not you like her style of speaking and yeah, that kind of thing. Also, I'd say it is much more focused specifically to group organizing and stuff rather than a broader approach, which is what I was kind of looking for, like across various parts of my life, for example, like, oh, here are lots of different ideas for things that you can do to be involved and, I don't know, help the world be better. Prior to this, I actually read a book called Day of Reckoning, which was because I got into a disagreement with someone who I very much respect and love, and they felt like I should be more aware of the other side. I should be more, I should pay more attention to what people on the right are doing and thinking and where they're coming from and all of that stuff. I personally don't feel like that is beneficial to me, and I don't feel like it's particularly insightful or interesting to read up on that kind of thing, but I very much respect this person that I had the disagreement with. So I picked up Day of Reckoning by Wendling, and it turned out exactly how I thought. I don't think that it changed my life very much to read this book. I didn't really feel like it was insightful to me. I guess I learned that a lot of people, particularly these days, are very taken in by conspiracy theories on that side of the political spectrum for whatever reason, and probably more so than I previously thought, and that's upsetting. But I don't really feel like it gave me much insight, really. But I think that if you are someone who, I don't want to say enjoys finding out about that world, but someone who finds that interesting, then you will find this book interesting. You, I think, will get more from it than I felt like I did, and that's just because it's not an interest of mine. I am looking for books that are going to help assist my action going forward, and I don't feel like what could be pulled from this in terms of insight or, I don't know, information or whatever was helpful for how I want to go forward. So some people will love this book. It didn't do much for me. I didn't hate it or anything. I didn't think it was a bad book, but it just didn't do much for me, and so I wouldn't necessarily recommend it to anyone who is like me in that sense. Yeah, but I would recommend this to the person that I was having the disagreement with, because they haven't read it yet, and I think, yeah, they might like it. So at the moment I am still reading Digital Minimalism. I'm only 30% of the way into it, but I like it. It's making me remember that I want to journal more again. It's been probably a good 2 years or so since I last did that, and I used to do that pretty regularly since the age of about 8. So I don't know, I think having a partner that I'm very close to and can talk about anything with has kind of made me less likely to journal about my thoughts and stuff, because I have someone to go over things with quite in depth already. But I think there is some benefit in doing that for yourself sometimes, just with yourself as well, and I want to do that. And also I think that can sometimes help me like refocus some of my plans in a more concrete, like on paper way, rather than something that's just like, you know, just verbalized basically. On the flip side of that, I feel like journaling also makes me go to this like kind of darker headspace where I think, when I'm dead, do I want all my journals to be burned, or should I do that now? Or will that be nice for family to go over all my dark and twisted thoughts as well as just my New Year's resolution planning and stuff? I don't know. It makes me think things. But yeah, I'm enjoying Digital Minimalism as I thought I would. And then the other book that I'm reading is I Belong Here by Anita Sethi. And it's not what I thought. I thought it was going to be a little bit more of an expert of sorts, talking about a journey through the north. And while I do enjoy recognizing places that she's going through, and I enjoy the idea of like planning to go to some of the places that she's planning to go to, I don't know. I don't feel like the discussions on race are anything new to me, and therefore not super interesting to me. But I don't say that as like I say that because my experience already informs lots of my understanding of the situation, and so it's not like insightful necessarily to me, and I don't find it validating either. But what I do find interesting is the ways my experience and her experience are different, and the reasons for those differences. So that's something I want to go more in depth into in another video, probably a video specifically reviewing that book. Yeah. But that's all I'm going to talk about now. I think I've managed to cut down what was a 25-minute video to now I'm at 12 minutes and 45 seconds. So that should be a lot more concise and waste a lot less of your time. But definitely going to be doing a wrap-up at the end of the month. I'm looking forward to discussing some of this stuff a little bit more in detail, and hopefully with a little bit more structure to it. So that's all I have for now, and I'll see you again next time. Bye. Excuse me.